It's nice to be back on the chair. It feels like it's been quite a while since my last video when I've been here just kind of, shooting the breeze a bit. And I really wanted to get back to some of the videos that I made when I started this channel. Just sitting around and really hashing out some of these arguments I've been hearing lately about creationism and the like. First of all, before we get started though, I want to thank you guys so much for the likes, the comments on that previous video. I have a few more like that in the works, but I do this in my spare time. It's a hobby, so I don't want to make a big deal out of production and whatnot. So when they come, they'll come. That's all I can tell you. In the meantime, though, I've been hearing this argument on the internet and in real life, actually, too. A couple of my friends, some of the people I know on Facebook have been positing the argument that without God, there is no standard of morality, and without Jesus to guide you, without his teachings, there's no way that we, as a species, as a culture, could know what's right or what's wrong. And to those people who are advocating that argument, all I can do is give you a simple suggestion, a little something to try out for yourself. And I know it might seem daunting, but go without God for a day. Base your standards of morality, base your actions on empathy, understanding the consequences of what you may do, how that will affect the people around you, and leave God out of the equation. It's all right, I know, it might be hard to separate yourself from him, but I've read his book. He'll forgive you, apparently. If it doesn't work out for you, that's fine, but I feel like the way that things have been posted, the way that I hear this argument is that God is kind of the middleman. We have this sense of morality. We don't necessarily know how it got there. If you ask me, I would say it was through evolutionary means and understanding that as cultures and societies grew, we needed people to be empathetic. We needed people to work together, and that's how we propagated. I feel like that's a very, simple way of putting it, but we can't really look back on that as an individual. It took lots of time, thousands of years, more than that, obviously, in order for those needs, those desires to develop. And if you put God in that, if you label that process as God or the teachings, where do you get the essence of what is moral, what is right, before your religion? How did people before Christianity existed act morally? How was their moral code? And if it was based on God's, then maybe we can extract whatever God that is and say, no, maybe this is a simpler thing. So give it a try, is what I want to say. It's from my chair, which I have missed. Christopher Hitchens always used to say, name something moral that a believer could do that a non-believer couldn't do. But I think taking it one step beyond that and basing your ethical decisions solely on empathy and understanding the consequences of what it may do will provide you with maybe a little bit more clarity. And I don't know, give it a shot. I feel like that's something that needed to be said, especially looking at all of these very strong, fervent, ardent people who say, no, my morality is based on the Bible. Obviously, that's not true. We look at Leviticus and Numbers and Wisdom, and you'll find many commandments that do not find a place in today's society. The other thing that I really wanted to get back to as well, a subject of discussion, is historical context. I hope to make a couple more videos on this in the future, but when you hear people say that the Old Testament, speaking of morality, those laws that were given by God, that don't mix fabrics, don't eat shellfish, this and that, only applied to people of that time. It was historically more, I guess, accurate. I don't know the right word to say. It was historically more acceptable, but even that doesn't seem like the right word. It's not mon jus. But I think the best thing to do in that instance is look at the newer things. Look at the New Testament. Put that in historical context, if you must put your Old Testament in historical context to justify the New. Look at first century Babylonia. Look at first century, the Middle East where Jesus was running around performing his miracles. Look at all the other prophets that there were in first century Macedonia, in that area. You owe it to yourself to really look into the historicity of these claims and see all of the other prophets that there were back then. Other people have talked about Apollonius of Tyana. It's a very interesting story, a lot of parallels to Jesus in very interesting ways, and the Horus story as well from Egypt. Worth looking at. Compare these against your own beliefs, and you might find that it's worthwhile to verify what it is you've got in front of you, what you feel is the most acceptable claim, what you feel is absolute truth. Do I have it? No, I don't. I am not a dispenser of absolute truth. I am a man on an armchair with alcohol and a captive audience. Again, thank you for your views. Thank you for that burst in activity on my videos. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to do a lot more in the future. But I hope that these concepts, these ideas, spur some very intelligent debate. I feel like there is a surplus of people on the internet arguing simply from authority, and all I want to do in videos to come, all I want to do is speculate. I want to posit, and maybe we don't have all the answers, and maybe what can be for humanity is in the future, and we need to work towards that by checking our claims, by testing what we have scientifically, objectively, and learning from it, growing as a species. This is why I started this channel, and it took me up until now to be able to really express those views, and I hope you can stick with me for the ride. I appreciate all of you for watching this, and yeah, there is more to come. Thank you.